And I've been practicing saying your name, believe it or not, because at first when I saw it, I was like, 7? Like the number 7? But I was like, no, that
Yes.
can't be. It is? Oh, okay. I was like, but then, so I texted CJ. I was like, hey, can you phonetically like tell me how to sound out his name and like pronounce it? So it's Savon, right? I got it. I've been practicing so hard. I'm so proud right now. Anyway.
Katie, it's like Sev, like the beginning of the number 7.
Right.
And then on. So you got it. Sev
Savon.
on. Is this on in sign language?
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn some sign language before this show's over.
Okay. Yes. Just tell me. Well, this means this. I'll tell. Yeah.
This is motorcycle.
Yeah, but 2 hands. So you would put like, because you have to be like, yeah, like boom boom without the sound.
You're having a great hair day.
All right, thanks. I just literally got in from painting. I brushed it, and poof, here we go.
Yesterday I learned this one.
It means I love you, but I don't know, what does this mean?
Oh, isn't this good luck?
Oh, yes. Well, close. Okay, close. Good luck. So you do like middle finger.
Oh, okay.
Good luck. I love you. Yep.
I saw the video that your friends made you. I think it was last year when you went to the CrossFit Games.
Yep. There's a few. And then oh, okay, that video. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yep. Some of them did it. Some of them did their best. It was cute. So all the effort is beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
I watched it 3 times, and that's how long, and I still got it wrong.
But that's okay. It takes practice, I promise. I'm not a professional deaf person either, so I'm hanging on as much as you are, trust me.
Katie, you met Dave Castro at the CrossFit Games last year, at the Adaptive Games?
Yeah. Not for long, but yeah, we talked a little bit, and then we took a picture together, of course. Yeah, super nice.
I sent him a picture of you, and I said, do you remember her? And he said, yes. And I said, how did you talk to her? And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, she's deaf. He goes, what the fuck? I had no idea.
Really? Oh, okay. I don't know if I told him. I don't know. I don't remember what I said, or I don't know. That's so cool. But we look so well that no one knows until I tell them. But I always tell people, like, at the very beginning, especially with like my patients, because I want them to know that, like, hey, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not mean. I'm not arrogant. Like, I just didn't hear something. If I don't respond, it is never on purpose. It is always, okay, she doesn't know what I'm saying right now, because I will always like respond somehow. You know what I'm saying?
You never pretend like you didn't pick it up?
Never. I promise. People think that, but I'm like, no.
I read somewhere on your Instagram that you understand people 75% of the time, but right now you're batting 100%.
Yes. So there's like research that shows like, really with like only lip reading, you're only getting 25% of like what is like being presented to you, whether it's in class or conversations. But I would say, KK, because I've had to do this for like a living for real, that I get probably closer to like 50 to like 70%. And then, yeah, with like Remy and Rumble on me, I feel like they give me like stimulation sometimes. If it's like just like me and like one other person, like in a treatment room or something, then like it will give me like echo, because basically they're just like echoes to my brain. And so I know, and usually I have my hands on them so I can feel like their body like talking to me. So I'm like, okay, we got to figure something out now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd say somewhere around 75% sometimes. Everything else with me is a puzzle. So it's just constantly like figuring out what puzzle pieces I need to put together and can use to figure out the things that I need to respond to. Everything else, I have no idea what's happening around me. People think I know what's happening around me. I really don't. I just play it off well, and it keeps me on the edge.
This is probably going to be really hard for the listeners to believe, but you were like deaf. Like you can't hear me now.
No. I see your lips, and then I have like this caption app that is built into my laptop in like any situation. It's pretty good. It's about as accurate as like a YouTube caption thing. And so, yeah, I know. And my speech is clear, so people don't believe me at all, which is understandable. But I'm like, I promise I'm not lying. Anyway.
And yesterday when I invited you on, I was getting confused myself because I just assumed that you couldn't talk.
Right. And I'm very unique, I tell you. Like, and some people, so like it's a spectrum. Being deaf is a spectrum. So like some deaf people, even who like grew up like fully hearing and then have more like recently lost their hearing, they choose not to talk, which I don't know why. That's just personal preference of some of them. And when people, they get embarrassed about how they sound when they can't hear themselves, which I could care less how I sound. And I mean, I feel my voice talking, like I know I'm talking to you right now, probably loudly. I'm not really sure. I don't know my volume. So if I need to turn anything down,
perfect.
Like, okay,
perfect.
turn it down.
Perfect.
But so a lot of people either choose not to, or if they were born and raised in like an all signing family, then they have no like reason to learn. And if they're going to go to like all deaf schools, then like they do have like speech pathologists and stuff like that work with them to try to learn how to use their voice muscles and pronounce words. But reading lips is a skill, and you have to practice it and spend time doing it to become better at it. So it is not something that you just poof, it happens. Just like using your voice, you have to practice pronouncing words over and over again to try to get it right. So it's something that people choose to do or not to do. So that is why all human beings are capable of it. It's just, and I have a lot of deaf friends that vary. Like it's all over the board. And some deaf people, like they feel different things. So like my friend, she feels traffic a lot better than I do. So like if we're out like taking a walk together, then she'll be like, hey, car's coming, or like whatever, not with words, but like we sign only. But me, even with like Remy and Rumble on me, they don't pick up cars until it's like right here, which obviously then it's too late, right? So useless. And so being deaf is a huge spectrum. Like everyone like feels very like different sounds all across the board. Hearing aids help people in different ways. So like even like implants, it's different for every person. And so like, yeah, that is an assumption. And then it just takes practice. Like I have had to do this. I haven't had an option, and I didn't start signing or even teaching myself ASL until I lost the rest of my hearing in 2022. And so like I grew up with like barely any hearing, but I've always been using my voice because my family was like fully hearing, and signing wasn't even an option. You know what I mean?
What is ASL?
Oh, American Sign Language.
American Sign Language.
And there's different countries that have like, obviously like their own language, just like English and Spanish. And so there's like Spanish. I don't know any of them. I only speak ASL, but there's some kind of like also international sign language. I also don't know that. But I never got to go to school for any of these things. I have just been like teaching myself through like Bill Vickers, and then just like exposure. Like the more you're exposed to it, and I mean, you have to use it. Like in PT school, I was completely deaf, and I had just gone completely deaf. And so I had no choice but to figure out, all right, you need to hurry up and learn ASL, because I'm going to need to understand what my teachers are saying. And like, it was not even just like a regular paced program. It was accelerated. So like, you have no choice but to like keep up. And so, yeah, that's how we learn. We learn fast. Praise God.
Sevon's mind is blown right now. It is. I have 10 million questions. Normally I start at the beginning of someone's life, but can you explain for people who haven't seen your Instagram, Remy and Rumble?
Yes, Remy and Rumble. I bought them in case we needed them. Okay, so you can tell their differences. They stick to each other. So they're magnets, okay? And I mean, they have like batteries. I just don't have them on. And I don't really like wearing them. So I really only wear them in the clinic because I feel the pressure to hear, per se, even though it is not hearing. So it's digital hearing. So it's even very different than hearing aids. And it's like a mixture of like metallic sounding, echo, dog barking. Nothing is clear. Very little things are clear. However, your brain adapts and everyone is different. So this is where we knew it was like a flip of a coin getting them done. And I solely did it because Jesus told me to when I prayed about it, but that's what's up. And so there's a piece on either side of my brain on the temporal lobes that it gets stuck to. So it'll still magnetize even without the battery on. And then this part goes on your brain, and then they're not on right now, but it turns on. It's very like electrocuting at first, and then within like an hour, like my brain gets used to it and I can like breathe, but it's very powerful. And so then they pick up different sounds. So it's hard to even say. And as a deaf person, there are things like when sounds are happening, you don't even know they're there. So like traffic, I know it didn't pick it up sometimes because I'm like, okay, I see a car right there, but I am not like hearing or feeling anything from these guys. Or if I'm in the clinic, like I see you talking, but I am not feeling any like stimulation to my brain with this. So they pick up everything in the room, which also becomes very overwhelming and very stressful at times. And so you get a headache pretty quickly. Usually by like 3 p.m. in the afternoon, I'm done. And then by the time my last patient gets out the door, yes, your turn.
Question.
Are you raising your hand?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm interrupting you. Are you telling me that when you have those on, it basically translates it into another language, which is a bunch of sounds that you described as dogs barking stuff, and then over time you learn what those sounds attached to those words? So you have to learn a whole new language?
Yes. This means yes, 100%.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was also the thing. So, we're in PT school, learning ASL, trying to learn digital hearing all at the same time. And my audiologist and my doctor were like, I don't know what this child is doing right now, but this is crazy.
So it's nothing like a hearing aid. It has nothing really to do with hearing. It's translating sounds into some other, what you describe as honestly not fun to listen to sounds. And then you over time are like, okay, every time I hear this sound, that's someone saying yes. Every time I hear this sound, that means no. And so you're holy shit. And there's no map for it because it's different. Is it different for everybody?
Yeah, right.
Holy shit.
There's no map. There's no real map.
It's not
toilets,
like learning
water.
Yeah. Wow.
Like everything, a lot of things sound the same too. So it's hard. So you have to try to watch. And there's like listening therapy. There was an app that I did for a while during PT school. It's called Angel Sounds. I'm not sure why they call it that because there was nothing angelic about it. It was absolutely miserable. But like it would give me like a sound of a tool. And then you have to click. You have like 4 choices and you have to pick like, is this the ocean? Is this the toolbox? I don't know. Is this the washer, dryer, or something else? And sometimes you would get it right. Sometimes you would get it wrong. And so, but it doesn't sound anything. It's crazy. It's I'm like, oh, get this out of my brain. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I've tried like using it for like FaceTime and whatnot, but I'm like, oh my gosh, get this person out of my head. It is absolutely way too crazy. I can't tolerate it. You know what I'm saying? So
are the implants turned off now? Can you turn those on and off, or they're always ready?
You can yes, you can turn them on. I just have to put it on me. So like it's always on my brain, but like now it's like on, and so now it's like only on this side of my head.
Okay,
so myself talking.
So when you put that on, it turns the whole thing on, both sides, the part that's implanted and
no, just Remy is on me. So there's like dead silence, like nothing over here, just Remy over here. But it's more just kind of like a earthquake kind of thing, if I can describe that.
When you take that off, do you have any idea that the implants are in? Are you aware that the implants are there when that's off you?
Yes, because there's a lot of ringing in my ears, and sometimes you can feel them. How do I describe that? Yes, like sometimes I'll have like weird like sensation, kind of like it's not sharp, it's not painful, but it's like electrifying, and I feel it inside my brain. So like even now when I just took that off right now, there's still like almost like an electricity feeling running through my head. If you can like imagine that. It's not a great explanation, but like, and so then like it takes about an hour of me taking them off for like my brain to become peaceful and back to just being nothing.
Will you ever go? So it's a love-hate relationship you have with these things.
Yeah.
Will you ever go? Will you ever go a week without them?
I have, yeah. It makes it harder when I put them back on. So like Labor Day weekend, I was gone for like 4 days, and then I only wear them in the clinics. And by the time you put them on that like 4th day, you're like, oh my gosh, what in the world is going on right now? Like everything, like picking up, I don't know, like even my phone or like my keys. I'm like, oh gosh, this is like absolutely awful right now. But then within like an hour and a half or so, your brain will get used to that level of like stimulation, and it will kind of like even out. And then you'll be able to just sustain that level of stimulation until the end of the day. And then I'm like, done.
Wow. You never sleep with them on?
Oh hell no. And honestly, like anytime you like rub them, so like I don't even train with them on. They're strong, but they fly off. So like I've broken Remy before doing ring muscle ups, and Rumble flew off one time, and so and it is not worth it. It doesn't even help me. I wore them some in the games last year and in the gym, and in that situation, like it's picking up just noise. Everything's just noise, and so I'm like, this is making me more like stressed out because I know things are going on, but I can't figure out. I'm still working just as hard to read your lips, figure out what I'm supposed to respond to, what's happening around me. I'm still working just as hard. So I might as well have a peaceful head, with no headache while we're doing this. And so, but yeah, sleeping. And if you lay on them, they come off. So it's so annoying.
I honestly, just from this little bit of interaction I'm having with you, I can't imagine you ever putting them on after you described how they work. I would just be like, I can't do that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel that way. But and I could try going without them. It's just, I feel like sometimes they've helped. Like I've gotten maybe like 3 times, and like if the person's face down, so a lot of times in PT, like depending on what we're working on and dry needling, whatever we're doing. I mean, I always lay out the communication beforehand, explain what we're doing, why we're doing this, what I want to know from them, what they can expect maybe. And then figuring out, depending on what body part we're working on, like thumbs up, thumbs down, lift a leg, kick a foot, do something, whatever it is, they know exactly what their job is to tell me and what I want to know from them and what I'm going to do before anything happens. And so, but there have been times, but I don't know. So like if they're face down and I'll repeat everything back. That's a mechanism. I repeat everything back to be like, okay, so you just said like X, Y, and Z. And they'll be like, yes or no, or whatever. And so then sometimes I've gotten things though. I'm like, oh, so you just said like this. And they're like, yeah. So and they'll still nod, but I don't know if I'm getting that because my hands are like on them. So I can feel, and like I'm still using, like they can still be like face down and like talking with their hands a little bit and like nodding or whatever. So I feel like I figured out something. So, but yeah, I don't even, some days I'm like, why am I even wearing them? I don't know.
Hey, I just thought of a business for you.
Okay, go for it.
A business idea. You could offer a service where you read people's faces. You should be like a facial recognition expert. Like you could go in places and like do evaluations of people and be like, yes, you have resting bitch face. Yeah, you should know to the vast majority of people, you have an asshole. Oh, you have a very warm face. Oh, you react well. You know what I mean? I bet you must take crazy cues off of people's faces.
Yeah, for sure. And the CIA wanted me, but I was in PT school and I was like, you have to go through like 2 more years of their like general school.
Do it, Katie.
They're like,
do it, Katie.
They wanted me as a lip reader. And so we'll cross that.
Wow.
I would hope I could do it and be quiet.
I approve.
Like deaf people don't know if they're being loud. So like imagine if we're like, in a really like life or death situation and they're like, hey,
there's the killer.
Like intel. And so I'm like, reading their lips. And then if I make a noise and they're like, oh, cover's blown, and so then I like screw something up and you get killed. You know what I mean? Like, but yes, the CIA definitely could be an option for my lip reading skills sometime in the future. I don't know.
So, guys, the crazy part of the story hasn't even been said yet. At least the part from the little bit of research I did. Well, first, let me ask you this: when I'm talking, is something transcribing what I'm saying also on your screen?
Yes, but I'm really looking at your lips more,
Okay,
and that's
okay,
just
okay.
by nature. I'm so
By
used
nature,
to
okay,
just diving
okay.
in.
You tell me the story about how you went deaf and no one knew, and in that whole fiasco with the doctor when you were 8 years old. I mean, that shit is like, tell me about being born. Tell me about like when you
Yes,
noticed or when people started thinking that maybe you don't have good hearing.
yes. Okay, so yeah, so I was like 8 or 9 to my memory, and I grew up in South Florida, and so I first knew like that I wasn't passing at the pediatrician's office. They, at the time at least, they just did like this like beep test where they put this little thing in her ear, and then like you tell them like, oh, I can hear that beep, or no, I can't hear that beep. And so at first, I remember I heard like a little bit of them, and then like at the next physical appointment, I wasn't hearing any of them.
How old
And
were you?
so
How old were you then?
around like 8 or 9, I
Okay.
can't remember which one. Probably like 8, because I think I was at the other doctor. So then that caused them to be like, okay, but I was talking like fine and writing and just doing everything. And so but even like up until those ages, I will tell you, like, I was a very shy kid. So like this KK that you're seeing now was like not even existent then, okay? And so at birthday parties, like a lot of social situations, even like in the sports that we played, like I wanted and needed to just kind of like sit back and just kind of like watch like the other kids for a little bit to figure out like, you know, like the game and like how to actually like play with them and figure out their characters. Like if I actually like wanted to play or not, like if they were being mean, then I was like, no. And so I would always just sit back. So there was little things like that, but none of us knew. Like we thought we were just like, you know, shy, like normal, everything's fine.
And
so
and did you assume, since you only know yourself, that everyone heard the way you heard, that, hey, this is just reality? Okay.
So you
Okay.
don't know what you're missing when you don't have it. It's like,
Right.
giving a kid cake, like they don't even know what it tastes like.
Right.
So
don't give
everything
your
I
kid
had-
cake. Don't give your kid cake. Go on.
Yes, no, please don't. So then so then after that 8-year-old appointment, and I wasn't passing at all, they were like, okay, let's go to supposedly the best ear, nose, and throat doctor in South Florida. And this doctor, we were there each week for somewhere between like 8 to 10 weeks long. All right. And it was a small clinic, and they never let mom or dad come back with me. So I was always going back alone. And most of the tests, with the exception of one of them, I was just laying on this bed, and they had like sticker electrodes like all over my brain to see like the connectivity of like everything, I guess. The rest of them, so like we're talking at least 8 weeks of this, was in the soundproof booth that I don't even think a hearing person could actually hear something in there. So you're in the booth and you have headphones on you, and you have a little thing in your hand, and every single test is different. So but I never remember like actually like hearing any instructions on like what I was supposed to be doing. And when you don't hear something, you don't hear it. It's not intentional, like we talked about. And so I was just sitting there like so nervous. I was just like, I was like sweating, and like I was anxious, and I was not confident to be like, hey, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And the nurse lady, she would come in every single time, at least halfway through, with a very angry facial expression, like, Katie, we have one more chance to do this, and then we're done. And like she was always mad at me. And I can tell your tone of your voice based on your vocal cords and your facial expressions and everything. So people think that they don't know if I'm yelling, but like, or if they're yelling, but wrong. Okay. I read everything. Okay. So anyway, then
wait. You actually look at people's vocal cords also?
Yeah. And you can use that to see like their tone of voice. So you can do this, and then you can pick up accents, but the accent mostly comes from like how you move your tongue on your teeth and the lips, how they all move together. You can pick up
Yeah.
someone's accent, but I just need about like 10 minutes with you to kind of like figure those things out. And then all my patients that have like Parkinson's or stroke that really don't move their lips well, I try to use a little bit more eyes, but they don't really do anything. And then I try to just use hands. Honestly, with them, it's kind of like hit or miss. Like, you want this, is this a yes or just no? It's a big game of communicating. It's a big game of charades, okay? So everything's just like, use your best acting skills and pray that you're getting things right.
Okay.
So, anyway,
you're not allowed to play charades, are you? That's like cheating if you're deaf.
but my life is basically
Your life,
charades.
all right. Your
I
life,
could be good at it.
Right.
I could be good at it.
So that's fascinating. So you really, the lips are the primary, but you are look, anything that's moving is a translation tool, communication tool for you. Yeah,
especially
dude.
like guys
FBI,
have like Adam's
FBI.
apples.
FBI.
Yeah.
CIA, I'm telling you.
People's vocal cords are like coming out of their neck, and they're probably like, "Oh,
okay."
Slow down.
So you're in the room, and they think they gave you instructions, but you can't even take the test because you couldn't even hear the instructions. It's almost like a comedy skit. It's like an Abbott and Costello comedy skit. It's crazy.
I don't know what that is, but
okay.
we'll get to my level of like understanding on some things is like kindergarten level. So anyway, we'll get to that. But so then the tests, I was just sitting there kind of like randomly like pushing something if I felt like I heard something, or some of the tests are like talking, like it's just different stuff. So anyway, at the end of this 10 weeks time, okay, the doctor brings us in, my mom and me. Praise God, I finally let my mom come back. And I remember this so distinctly because we didn't know what he said at first because he was not looking at us. And she, very like not professional. And so my mom was like, "Hey, I don't know what you said. Can you turn around and look at us and say it again?" And so he did. And he was like, "I think that Katie's lying about this just to get attention." And my mom looks at me and she was like, "Katie's not that kind of a kid at all. And she doesn't even want to be here right now. And she would never do something like that." And he was just like, "Well, all of our tests were inconclusive and negative, and we didn't find anything wrong. So good luck to you." And I was like, my self-esteem, okay, I'm very like sensitive. So like anytime someone is yelling at me, no, we need to figure out a different way to communicate. First of all, it does nothing. Second of all, even if you yell at a deaf person, like they might not hear you, but they know that you're mad at them or whatever it is. I don't know. You have to be sensitive with those kind of things. And so like my self-esteem is scarred. So that night, my dad got home from work. All of us sat down to like talk about it. And I more or less was the one who was like, "Listen, guys, everything's okay. I did not want to go through that experience again." And so they wanted me to go to different doctors, of course, because they knew that I was not lying or making anything up. And it was hard to tell because I played it off so well. So like he would not look at me and be like, "Oh, something is really wrong. Like my grades are really good. Like God allowed me to figure things out like no one else." And so I was like, it's fine. So then, middle school, high school, people make fun of you because go.
Oh, do you have any idea what percentage of your hearing you had at 8 years old?
Yes, it was around the 20%.
Wow. I will tell you a quick story. My ankle was really bothering me all through 7th and 8th grade. And my mom took me to the doctor, and the doctor said that I was making it up and just gave my mom a bottle of Vicodin. And he said the exact same things. Your son just wants attention.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was like, crazy, right?
Yeah.
Hey, one more note for people who are listening. And I know things were different there than now. Never let anyone be alone with your kids, not even a doctor. When I had a dog, I don't even let the vet be alone with my dog. Like if they're, when they squeeze their anal glands and they're like, "We're going to take him somewhere else." No, I'm coming. It's my dog, it's my kids. But those things were different back then. But never let anyone take your kid into a room where you're not. Okay. Oh, wait, let me read some comments. Lock in, KK.
Oh, don't they?
Love this energy. KK the goat. Just remember, she had this surgery and became fully deaf during a doctoral program and crushed school and walked through her boards. Okay, don't ruin the story. Come on. Don't you're reading the. Don't ruin the story. Okay. Okay, go on. Okay, so you have that doctor's appointment and they say she's fine. She's lying.
Yep. Okay, so then middle school, high school. I played all the sports as a little kid up until like middle school, and then I stuck with swimming as a high schooler. Okay, so I was a competitive swimmer in high school and college. And it was savage. I don't know. I got a lot of false starts. If the timer was not close to my lane, okay,
yeah,
I was not on relays. If I was on a relay, it was very far and few in between. But and I have contacts, so I can be deaf and blind, but that's a different game. It's a little bit more complex. So we put our eyes on first thing in the morning because without them, you can't see your lips. It's interesting. Okay, so then, if the buzzer was like, yes, go.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So then the buzzer, if it was next to me, I heard a little bit, okay? Otherwise, you need to pick someone. I handed my glasses to the timer, so now I'm blind, but I can see up close to me enough to kind of turn my head a little bit one direction to see when the swimmer next to me take your mark. And then I'm assuming I'm just waiting and then go. So most of the time I could time it right, okay? But it's okay. And then the coaches did yell at me, but I didn't know. I said nothing about being deaf because I thought I was lying about it and I was just in my head. And you don't know what you're missing when you don't have it. So I just had nothing. So everyone thought I was had a learning disability or I was stupid or how do you not know this joke? Or how do you not know this term or this word or the situation and music? You don't know. So I didn't know this until I got to PT school, but it's actually a thing called incidental learning. And growing up, a lot of deaf or profoundly deaf kids don't have access to a lot of other conversations around them or music. So I never, ever, even with 20% hearing, know what it's like to be able to listen to a song using my ears and understand the words. I've always had to have captions of some sort or read lips. So anyway, then go.
Many years ago, I saw this video of a boy who was blind and that he never got any treatment and he developed his own way of navigating the world. And he made these popping sounds with his tongue on the roof of his mouth.
Oh.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Exactly. And
I can pick things up fast. Okay.
Yeah. And they said that it was similar to the way he had developed, the way his brain had developed. It was like the way a bat. I mean, I don't know if this is true, but they said it was like a bat, like sonar. And they showed him riding a bike. They showed him skateboarding, but he was completely blind. And he even knew, he'd be like, I'm passing a mailbox. There's a car over there. And he was blind. It sounds like you have had something similar happen, the equivalent with your ears. And it sometimes makes me a little, it makes you question the tools that hearing people and seeing people have created for the blind and the deaf, that actually they're dumbed down tools. Because I know it's been a long journey for you, but at 26, you can't possibly have wanted it any other way because your tools are profound, right?
Right.
I mean, your tools are it's a long road, but shit, your tools are insane.
Thanks. Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're amazing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Am I on to something here?
Yes. I don't know. I mean, by God's grace, we're doing everything. And so then in high school, that was that. And then in college, I started college and high school and just kept sitting up front, reading the teacher's lips, and everything is a puzzle. So you just have to figure out what the teacher is saying when they're not looking at you based on what they're writing on the board, or what they said before they actually turned around, and then what they said after they turned around, and those things. Go to tutoring if you need it, go to office hours, talk to them, make friends with them so that they know that I'm a good student and I'm trying hard. And I used really good grades to prove people wrong, because a lot of people thought that, again, I was stupid or had some kind of learning disability. So I got really good grades just to be listen, I'm actually kind of smart, And so we just didn't know that I was mostly deaf. So then I got all the way through my bachelor's with no help whatsoever. And then at 26, right before I started PTA school. So I was a PT assistant for 3 years before I became a doctor. And it was right after I had this shoulder surgery in 2018. I started PTA school, and we got hearing aids. So I went to Dr. Green, okay? So my mom and dad were like, Katie, please go get this checked out in Jacksonville. So I was living in Jacksonville at the time. And I was like, okay, I'll go. Like, I'm confident. Wasn't walking with Jesus yet, but I was confident. So if he told me I was lying, what's it going to change? Like, I've already done all these things and nothing is going to change. So then,
Wait,
yeah.
How old are you at this point?
32.
So you've been
So 6 years.
And you've been holding on to this since you've been 8 years old. Even 24 years later, you're still like, they're going to say I'm lying.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, but then he didn't. So then we just did like one booth test, and it was already like an entirely different experience. Like the audiologist that took me back was like so nice. She explained like everything, was like smiling at me. Like she was so like loving. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be great. So I knew exactly what I was supposed to be doing. And so then the doctor comes in and I was like sweating. I was like, okay, I'm ready. You know what I mean? And so, but he's like, first, Katie, like before I talk about like the test results right here, how are you doing this right now? And like you said before that you have like your bachelor's and you were a swimmer and all of these things. And he's like, how do you communicate like at all? Like, this is absolutely insane. And so I was like, it's okay. Like, I just have to see your face and everything's fine. And he was like, oh, really? And so then like, he's like, listen, like you literally have 20% of your volume. So in your ear, you have like volume hair cells, and then you have cochlear hair cells, and they work together to translate everything you'll perceive as sounds and words and understanding of all of that together. Okay. And so he's like, volume wise, you have 20%. Cochlear, you have nothing. He's like, your cochlear hair cells are like completely just, they're not even being stimulated. They're just like completely dead for whatever reason. And so he's like, this is why, you know, growing up, like you might have heard a little bit of volume coming from songs or like someone's mouth, but I cannot figure out what they're saying unless I have captions or unless I'm reading your lips. And he's like, that's why. And so I was like, oh, okay. So then we talked about cochlear implants at that time when I was 26.
What's crazy is you're really a genius.
Thanks.
Like you have like you're like a supercomputer. Yeah, it's wild. Wow. That's what. Wow.
Thanks.
Okay, go on. Yeah.
There's other things that are like most people think of as like common sense things, and I'm just like, I don't know what that word is. Can you like so? But some things, yes, I can be smart. I can be smart sometimes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So then we talked about cochlear implants. He described like the whole process, and when you go through with the surgery, you lose all of your residual hearing. And so I was like, no, doctor, we're not going to like just take away my 20% that I've like literally survived on for the past 26 years of my life. And I was really truthfully just scared of going completely deaf. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know sign language. And I was like, no, that's literally out of the picture. So he's like, okay, we can try hearing aids, understanding that this is only going to increase the volume. So with them, I was able to understand, based on testing, I was able to understand 75% of the words that were spoken to me, so that you put the hearing aid on and then you go back into the booth and you retest everything. So with hearing aids, I was able to understand 75% with no visual, lip reading or anything, just relying on my ears, 75%. So, and we didn't know that was our baseline because we had nothing before. And he could not believe that the doctor told me that when I was little. But then, so he was like, oh, this is crazy. So that was our baseline. And we didn't know it was going to be progressive until the end of 2022. So hearing aids worked for like 2 years. And I heard the ocean. And that was a beautiful sound. With hearing aids and with Remy and Rumble, the ocean is miserable. Oh, awful. So with hearing aids, it was beautiful. And I was like, wow. And then the toilet, like washers, dryers, like the car. So like if you're in the car and like the rain is like hard, you can hear the rain. And like just like the wind of the other cars going by you. I was like, what is going on? And the turn signal, I didn't know that thing had a sound. I thought something was like breaking because I didn't know something was like clicking. And so I was like texting my dad. I was like, listen, something is going on, but this is a new car. And then I realized the lights flashing. I was like, hang on, Dad. And so then I see it, and I put it together with like the light and the sound. I was like, oh my gosh. So it was exciting. Okay. And some of those sounds, like the ocean, I have kind of like locked in my memory. So it's really cool. If I close my eyes for a while, I can kind of still like imagine that, you know? And then I started PTA school, just got through it with hearing aids, sitting up front, same thing. Never heard the heart, never heard the lungs, but all of my assignments, we just talked through those things. I memorize everything. I can memorize. That has been like a mechanism because I have to know, like, especially in school, you have to like pick things up very quickly. And so like if the teacher says something, if I'm going to catch it, I got to memorize it and then write it down. Or like for evals right now, like having new patients, I'm telling them like, hey, like we'll go through, we'll talk for like 5 minutes, and then you're going to pause your mouth so that I can stop and like get these things down. And then you can start playing again. You know what I mean? Like we're just constantly pushing pause, pushing play, because I cannot be like taking things down and like listening to you talk, you know what I mean? So it's just, I can do everything that a normal person can do. It just looks different, right? But I am normal. But so then
Katie,
2020, but yes, go.
Why not wait until what was the word you said? You said colloquial. Why not wait till you lose all your hearing,
Cochlear.
all 20% Cochlear? Why not wait until you lose all your hearing and then get the implants?
Oh, we did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
So,
Because I would be like, fuck you. You ain't doing that. Yeah.
Right. That's what I said. There we go.
Okay.
So then COVID happened. That was hard because of the mask thing. And so during that time though, so 2021, I had this shoulder surgery, and this was a frozen shoulder. So we've had like a lot of surgeries, a lot of comebacks. It's been like never ending, but it's been awesome. Okay. So then at the end of 2022, we got this shoulder to become unfrozen, or no, end of 2021. And then I was just starting to do like ring muscle ups again by the open of 2022, and then quarterfinals and all that. And then it was like the middle of 2022 when my hearing, so this hearing aid just broke, but I stopped wearing my hearing aids because they weren't helping me. In the clinic, I wasn't noticing a difference anymore. And so I stopped wearing them anyway. So I just brought them in to the doctor because they can just like send them away to get them fixed or whatever. And I just blurted out, and I was like, listen, like I'm not wearing them anyway, so it's okay if you can't fix it. And he's like, well, KK, it's kind of a problem, so like we should probably retest it. And so after that test, that's when we figured out it dropped to 16%. So from 20% to 16%, like volume wise. And so he was like, hey, let's just ditch the hearing aids if they're not working. And then we didn't talk about Cochlears again yet, but we tested it again. He's like, I want you back in here in like 6 weeks. Let's test it again to see kind of like what's going on, if it's going to change quickly or not, or whatever is happening, And so we did. And so 6 weeks later, that is when we figured out it dropped to 5% on both sides. And so he's like, gosh, like this is a really fast like drop, considering you barely had anything to start with. It's just literally like completely going away, and we don't know why. But 2021, right before the shoulder became frozen, that is when I gave my life to Jesus. So I already had a whole new perspective on every single thing that was happening. So I was like, all right, this is going to be great. And so, yes, go.
Why, what happened? Why did you give your life to Jesus? How did that happen? What was the circumstance for that?
Yes. So then after this shoulder surgery, all right, it was a great recovery. And I mean, I grew up in a Christian home, so it was always kind of like there. But nothing was personal. And I was just using Jesus as a good luck charm to kind of get through everything. All of my identity was wrapped up in my performance in school, in the gym, my body, like just everything. And so it was initially, devastating due to me putting all of that in that bucket when I had to have this one done. But it was a great recovery. I trained through both of my shoulder surgeries. So like one arm stuff, one arm burpees, one arm push-ups, just all the things, as much fitness as we could keep intact, we kept intact. And so I thought for sure I was doing too much. I'll be honest, too much rehab. CJ will agree, but too much rehab, like every single day, ever since 2 years apart, ever since I had this one done, I was like, all right, we're going to do crossover symmetry every day. We're going to do like, dyno bar carries, like we've got it covered so that I don't have to have this shoulder surgery done. You know what I mean? I thought for sure, okay, we're going to be skyrocketing now. So then this one slowly became more and more and more torn, and I got to the point where like I couldn't even put my hand on my hip. Like it was very, very stuck, very painful. And so it was even more torn than this one was. So I found that out. I was like, shoot. And I was devastated all over again. Okay. And so my good friend Robin, she was with Faith RX. I was very involved with Faith RX in Jacksonville. And she's like, Katie, I really think that God's trying to get your attention. All right. And so I was like, well, whatever. But I was very angry. And so there was a Faith RX camp down at Peak 360, Noah Olson's gym with Guido. And so she's like, hey, if we get you there, would you be able to just go? So I kind of broke the rules and I drove. I was like 3 weeks post-op. And so I drove down to Miami and they like paid for me to come, all that stuff. And it was great. And so then I remember being down there and like, I have never felt so loved like ever before. All the staff, everybody. And I, as like a one-arm, like person trying to like just do like some kind of a workout with them, like you're always kind of feeling like you're in the way, or at least I was at the other gyms that I was at. And so they came up to me so many times like, hey, like, do you have everything you need? Is there anything we can do to help? And I was like, am I in the way? Is there anything I need to do? And they're like, Katie, like, we love you, we want you to be here, we want you to be in the way, like, so I knew there was just something so special. And so and going into that weekend, like I told Robin, I was like, all right, like we'll go down there with an open heart. Whatever Jesus has for me, we're going to be open to it. And so it was the last day. It was Sunday. So it was like Friday to a Sunday. Last day, last message. And during like the invitation at the end, that is when Jesus and I had our first like face-to-face conversation of like, hey, he's been there this whole time, but this is what it looks like to have an actual, real personal relationship with me and to actually make me your Lord and your Savior. This is what it's going to look like. And so that is when I truly gave my life. Yes, go.
So where were you when that happened? Were you were in this
Miami,
gym?
Florida.
Were you in this gym?
Peak 360. Yep.
And was someone giving a sermon when that happened? Was someone talking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tyler Beetleman, maybe. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it was Tyler. I forget what the topic was, but yes. Each one, like a lot of like the coaches and the staff were like doing different messages throughout the whole weekend. And then we would like work out in between them and so on. And then we did like a beach workout. I didn't, but they did like a beach workout and then come back together, do workout, come back together. So it was kind of like that all weekend. So this was like the last one.
And so while Tyler is talking and giving this sermon, you all of a sudden, your awareness elevates to where you're now communicating with Jesus.
Yes. And it was very, yes, I feel like it's supernatural. So it's hard to explain, but like, when he gets a hold of your heart, he gets a hold of your heart. And so, you can just close your eyes and he's just like right there. And he's been there like ever since, you know what I mean? And so like, it was a beautiful thing. And then we did baptisms like right after that in the ice baths. And Tyler was there doing that too. And so that was really beautiful. So I came back to Jacksonville after that whole experience, like completely different. And so I had a whole new perspective on everything. Didn't even know anything at this point that was going to happen with my hearing. It was literally just, okay, we have a shoulder surgery and like, we're going to make, if Jesus wants this, but if not, my identity is not in that anymore. So it doesn't even matter if I get back to being an athlete or if I get back to getting my arm overhead, whatever. We didn't know that it was going to be frozen until like 3 weeks after that, that camp when I got back. It just was not moving. Like it was so stuck, so painful. My scapula was entirely like, there was just, everything was so glued. And so, again, we don't know why. My nutrition has been dialed in impeccably since like gosh, I don't know, the beginning of college. So it's been a minute.
So you've had friends for like 10 years and they didn't know you were deaf?
Yes.
Or do they know? They don't know.
Well, they know now, and I'm so excited to tell them because I used to be a coach, believe it or not. And
I would feel like it, like I have the awareness of a snail if I was friends with you for 10 years and I didn't know you were deaf. I'd be like, holy shit, I'm an idiot.
Well, I play it off really well, so I get it. But there are things that they saw that they come at me like now. They're like, okay, I'm like, guys, I have a problem, and look at this. It's a real thing because I'm excited that I'm not lying about it. And they're like, wow, like that would explain why you yell so loud all the time. And like every time we would walk by you, if we said something, you wouldn't respond. And so I was like, oh yeah, that would be why. So it's kind of like a relief for me. But yes, they see it now.
30 years of people thinking you were ignoring them.
Yeah, I'm sad. It hurts my heart. So I would never do that.
But not one time it was true. Not once.
Right. Yes, not one time. I promise you. I would never. If people are like, oh, selective hearing, it's not me. Okay, I don't know. Maybe some people do the whole selective hearing thing, but not KK. I would never not that's a huge,
you
know what I mean?
There's a huge lesson there for so many people. So many people project their shit onto other people.
Right. And don't assume anything.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with anything about you ignoring them. Like zero. They were 100% wrong. Not even a little bit right. Yeah.
So So anyway, so then after
I have more question. So did you cry when you had that experience? When you were in peak?
Yeah, a little bit. When I gave my life to Jesus. Yeah. It was so beautiful. Yes, 100%. It was amazing. Like literally you just feel like your heart is being transformed almost. You know what I mean?
You said your heart was being transformed?
Yes, it's hard to explain. But yes, when you feel it, you know.
Tell me what you mean by heart.
My heart. Deep. So like your soul, like your it's very like supernatural, deep within your heart, deep within your soul, like your whole like purpose. I mean, we are created by him and for him. And so like it's hard to explain, but it's something that just happens deep and just overcomes, like you almost kind of get chills of just like if you've ever just like watched something that's like so beautiful, but it's even different than that because it literally it goes deep into your heart and soul. You know what I mean? And like when you close your eyes and you're just like picturing like Jesus's face there, and it's very supernatural. So it's hard to explain.
Is the heart something you perceive with? You know how like your hands are something you perceive with, or your eyes? Is your heart something you perceive with?
Yes. And I would say even like because being deaf, like, you know, I don't have like the listening ability with my ears. Okay. So like the ability to, I call it listening with my heart. And I mean, it kind of goes along with like being empathetic too. So you could think of it like that. But a lot of my patients will even tell you that like they have felt more listened to by me, even though I'm deaf and I have not literally like physically heard a word that they're saying, but they feel so much more heard and cared about, and actually like, wow, like no one has actually like intentionally like just been so
attentive.
I guess in tune with like, intensive and like
attentive.
You literally are hitting the nail on the head with like everything I'm telling you right now, and like what I'm feeling, what I'm going through. And like, I mean, if they're crying, like we work through things. And so they're like, wow, like it's so incredible to be able to communicate differently and even like not better, but like better than like some hearing people can, you know, because I have to focus on one thing at a time. So like, if you have my attention, you have my attention. I can't be like, you know, listening to podcasts and taking a walk or doing things. Like I have to be reading the captions. So if I'm watching something, anything, it's just reading, you know what I mean? But like, so it's really slowed me down in a lot of ways too, which is a cool thing, you know? So same thing with like daily conversations, like everything, like when you're talking to me, you're talking to me, or whatever, because everything is like visual.
You know how you can put all of your attention, like if you close your eyes and you touch something, you can bring your awareness to your hand.
Yeah.
And feel. Do you do that with your heart? Can you bring all of your attention to your heart?
Yeah, it takes time. I mean, it's like a muscle. Everything has to be like trained, and a lot of times like my brain will just be wandering and wandering and wandering. And so yes, so I will say, and on the other, like, because I'm so like alone with my thoughts too. So like I have to really train like my thoughts, and I could be better at being like positive about like my own capabilities and self-confidence and all of these things. Okay, we're working on it. And so like but I will say that like a lot of people can like listen to music and like feel very like inspired by that, and I can feel music sometimes, but I will say there is a whole lot of like stuff that goes on inside your brain that I have to work harder at like training, because that is like I speak to myself the most. You know what I mean? I don't just because I am deaf, I feel like it makes it. I'm always alone in a sense. Even if I'm in a gym full of people, it's just me. I don't know what's happening around, or even what the coach is saying most of the time, unless I'm like looking at them. And so it's always like workouts. It's just 100% me and my own thoughts. Like I don't motivate by like music or anything like that, because I don't know what's happening. I don't hear like announcers or people cheering for you or like anything like that. So there's nothing to be. Yes, this is clapping. Yep, probably saw that last year. And so there's nothing to like externally jump in and help unless you catch something like visually. But yeah, anyway. So then,
question.
Go.
Do you have a do you have a boyfriend? Are you in a
No.
relationship with anyone? No. No.
Not yet. I mean, we're praying for it, but it's not yet.
I mean, because if you had someone you could be intimate with, they could always be also touching you, which would be like a huge level.
Yes, and it's hard. I have to rein in
of more communication. Like you need someone like in your life who can like, you know what I mean,
yes.
squeeze
So
you and grab you and like
push me out of the way, throw things at me. Yes.
Well, I like squeeze and grab, but there's some pushing maybe.
Yes, and like crossing the street, for example, like I feel so much safer like holding hands. And I mean, growing up, like I was always like holding someone's hand or in my dad's arms or like something before we even knew that I was deaf. But it's a huge safety, like physical touch is a huge safety thing for me. So I have to just make sure too that like the relationships that I have been in, which has not been many, but like just make sure that I'm communicating that with them, not sending off like the wrong messages. Get it? It can be miscommunicated. And so I have to make sure they know that like this is not my intention, but this is where I'm coming from. So for me, you know what I mean? And so
men won't,
but yes.
That is probably very important to communicate to men, because men do not understand that. That is interesting.
Yes.
And you're
like microwaves. We're the crock pots.
And your job, you touch a lot of people in your job.
I do, yeah. But we're very like, but yes, we always communicate like, hey, this is what's happening, and like all of those things. For sure, 100%. Yes. We do touch a lot, yeah.
Before this conversation today, had you talked to anyone today?
You mean like any human on the planet? I mean, I went to the gym.
Okay.
And so I talk to people there, but
because even I notice when I do this show in the morning, it takes a while for like my muscles in my mouth to warm up and for things to come out right in my brain to work. But I've already noticed an evolution in your speech just because we've been talking for an hour.
Oh, really? What's that evolution? Is it slowing down?
No, there's a fluidity. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a like when I first came on with you, because I knew ahead of time, I could hear some like things that were different in your voice. And now that you're warmed up, you just sound maybe a little Canadian or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And growing up, everyone thought I was from Australia or Great Britain. Yeah. And I just played along with it because we didn't know I was deaf. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then when I was diagnosed, my doctor was like, KK, you are very special, but it's a speech impediment. And I was like, no, I'm from Australia. And so we just kept it. I I didn't lie. It was just like, yeah, it's a cool accent. It's a deaf accent, but it's not a bad deaf accent. It's very good. It's very clear for a deaf person. Get it?
It is. I'll tell you this, and I bet you that a lot of people think this. It is a privilege and an honor to talk to someone who's deaf. It's like, it's something you never, hearing people never think they'll be able to do in their life. And it's
Wow.
it's almost like going to Disneyland. It's like, I can't even believe someone said in the beginning, it's blowing Sevon's mind. Yeah, it's really a huge gift you're giving to people, because there's a paradox there, right? We shouldn't be able to talk to you, but we can. It's like almost like going on a field trip somewhere, talking like to a cool place. Yeah. It's really cool.
And I think it's been cool because now, like, so my roommate, she's deaf, and we only sign, and she like barely moves her lips. So again, deaf is a spectrum. Okay. So a lot of people sign more, but she literally like works at a deaf school. And so like they only sign there. I've never even been to a deaf school, so I don't know what that's like. But so then to be in like the hearing world, you know, all day, and then come home and it's like, okay, now because there's differences between like cultures and like how you communicate. So like in the deaf culture, you know, we like wave at each other like this, or like, you know, we're like smacking each other, or we'll throw something at each other, or flicker the lights on and off. And it's very normal. It's very normal. And then, you know, in the hearing world, like if I were to go in the clinic and do that, they're like, okay, stop. Like, what the are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, keep the lights on. Why are your hands in my face? And why did you just throw that at me? You know what I mean? Like, they totally see it as like very, very different things. And so, you know, we do raise our hands a lot. And I grew up doing that. In the deaf culture, most of the time you sit there and raise your hand, and they're going to be like, what is this fool doing with their hand raised? Like, you know, you don't do that. You interject into conversation, signing with your gestures. It's all traits. So it's cool to be like a bridge. That's where I'm going with this, is like, God has given me the ability now, having grown up the way that I did, and knowing like both worlds, to like pull them together. And so, yes, it's a very beautiful thing.
Has your renewed relationship with Jesus scared people around you?
Scared them? No.
Yeah.
Like inspired them? Yes. And it's
Okay.
so exciting too, because like the deaf people group, they're very unreached because they don't go out and do things. Like, I am the exception of like energy level, outgoingness. Like, I'm PT, like CrossFit, all these things. They don't go out and like expose themselves to try new things because they can't communicate. They're also the last like people group to actually learn about Jesus. And so the Bible was only translated into ASL 2022, same year that I lost my hearing. And it's not even in many, many, many other languages. And so like, it's so beautiful that God has given me the gift of completely going deaf to actually be in their shoes, but also having been in this world and have excelled to be, you know, in like a medical field, to bring that to them, you know, whereas most deaf people, they go to deaf colleges, and you can only go, and they only do like, you know, business, like very like common general like degrees. So if you see someone that's like blind or deaf or something with like a medical degree, like, you know, they have had to work for that and without been given like accommodations for it. Because even in PT school, like there was times where they took my interpreters away. So like, it was like, man, like great. You still have to like figure things out and like keep up with everything, regardless of whether you have interpreters or not. And so now it's such a luxury, but I have not known that luxury since 2 years ago, you know?
Katie, I'm finding that very hard to believe that the Bible hadn't been done in sign language until 2022.
I know. It's crazy. But it's true.
I mean, it's probably been done in like, in picture books.
Yeah.
I mean, you're telling me no one on YouTube signed out the Bible?
They've done like verses and stuff, but not like the
whole thing?
Right. They've been working on it for years. It's taken them years. And yes, there has been like Bible verses and things like that, you know, bit by bit, but not like a full copy, to my knowledge, until Deaf Missions did it in 2022.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is, I believe you over Google, but it says
What does it say? 2020?
2000. Yeah, but same thing. That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, 2020 it said. That's crazy.
So
Are
anyway.
there not enough? How many deaf people are there in the United States?
I think like around like 70,000. Don't quote me on that though.
Hey, can you spot a deaf person?
You know, um,
You know how like
no,
no? Yeah.
because you don't. And people are like, I'll tell
You
them
don't
I'm deaf. And they're like, oh, you don't look deaf. I'm like, well, what do we look like? Um, no, I know them. If I see them signing, then yes. Well, they could be hearing though too, so that's not even a. So no, I don't think I could like if you had someone lined up in front of me, I could be like, oh, unless I spent time with them,
Yeah.
you know.
Have you ever met anyone like yourself
No,
who had to fake hearing for their whole life? The first half of their
no,
life?
no,
There's
nope.
gotta be another one.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm trying to think.
Somewhere.
Yeah,
There's gotta be
I
another
haven't.
one.
That'd be cool. Well, I mean, not cool, but yes, I have other deaf friends, obviously, but like no one that's not been diagnosed. There are people that I know that have like lost their hearing not until like high school or later in life. Sometimes it's genetic. So I do have friends that like have been born like fully hearing and then like lost it, but not like a misdiagnosis type deal. No.
When I think it was Red Bull who did the video on the kid who was blind, who did the sounds. Yeah. When and then I think Red Bull did a video on him, and then two other people in the United States saw the video and they said they found them and they did the exact same thing.
Oh wow.
And
Okay, so maybe some
similar
additional help.
circumstance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. Um um uh what when you had those implants put in, were there any side effects?
Oh,
I saw you say something about being dizzy, and I know that the ears play a huge part in equilibrium. Tell me about that.
so 2023. So my accelerated PT school started January 2023. Rumble was in April of 2023. Remy was in August of 2023. And so it was smack dab in the middle of PT school. But I just made sure that like I had my stuff done ahead of the surgeries. I worked ahead as far as I could, okay, because we got to keep our grades up. I think I got 2 Bs in PT school. And so, I was, and a lot of the school, they thought that I was going to have to be like held back. And I was like, no, give me a chance. Let me show you what I can do. Okay. Just stop telling me that. So I proved them again, this whole thing. I'm just like, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove you wrong. So, going into all my surgeries, I had everything done that I could. A couple like video assignments I had to do like the day after surgery. A couple quizzes I had to be like in the car after surgery, trying to like click on the things. It was a mess, okay? But by God's grace, we did it. So, and so then, you have to be on classes at nighttime. So I was just like sitting there with like huge bandage on my head, like ice all over me, And then, yes, dizziness happened a lot more after my surgeries, but he knew that was going to happen. And he honestly, I was his first patient that has ever done CrossFit. So he's like, tell me more. So I was like, oh, of course I would love to. And so he's like, wow. And so he's like, I don't know, how this is going to affect you with that. Like, I don't think you'll be able to do these things again. But again, based on your track record, KK, I'm not going to tell you no, obviously. So let's go. You know what I mean? And so this doctor is still, we email, he's so proud. And he's like, man, like you are the first person, patient that he's had that has ever done any of this, misdiagnosis to like all of these things. And so it is so cool to still have that relationship with him. And it's a lot with like, but of course it was worse at the beginning, you know what I mean? Of like changing directions, even just getting up, I was like, whoa. And then handstand stuff, gymnastics, especially handstand stuff, I feel it the most because I have like zero proprioception. I'm just falling. I don't know where I'm going. I just try to like catch myself. And so pray that it happens. And so, there were times I remember when I was like getting back to training like a week after my brain surgeries, and we would do a workout, and I, would tell CJ like, oh, I got dizzy with this or whatever. And he's like, okay, can we pretend for like 10 seconds that you just had brain surgery? And then every Friday I had to take tests. Okay. In this PT school, every Friday you have a test at 12 and a test at 3 p.m. So like both of those, like that test after that same week of my surgeries, Friday morning, one of them, I was like throwing up, and I was living with my sister at the time. And so I was like, it's going to be fine. I just got to like keep studying. I have another hour before the test. And I was just like throwing up, and she's like, hey, I'm going to call them, the doctors or whatever, and let them know. And so I think it was kind of like bloody or something like that. And so, she talks to like the doctor, and he's like, let us know if it keeps going, but can you just remind your sister that she just had brain surgery, and maybe her brain's undergoing a lot right now. So just maybe tell her, if I need to talk to the teachers, I'll talk to the teachers. She's like, okay. She's very stubborn, but I'll tell her. So anyway, but we did it. I just took the test the next day at that time. So I could keep up. I kept up and did well and everything. I think I got 2 Bs. And then I was able to qualify to take boards before graduation. So you have to pass like certain practice tests to do that. And then I passed them, not by a lot, but who cares? I passed them in October, graduated in December of just last year, 2024. And here we are.
Are you competing? You're competing next week?
Yeah.
Wait. This week?
This week. This week. As in like Friday.
3 days.
3 days. Yeah, we're flying there tomorrow.
How fit are you right now? Are you as fit as you've ever been?
I'm terrible at talking about myself. Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel fine. Like training this morning felt great. And so, yes, I'm going to be more confident. We're working on this. Okay. So yes, I am. I'm feeling fit. Okay. We're going to be great.
And you compete against other women who, what percentage of hearing are they all completely deaf?
So not all of them. There are more deaf this year, but I have not met all of them yet. I know one of them is from Spain. I did meet her last year. She's beautiful. And she speaks Spanish sign language though. So she has someone else that like comes with her to help like interpret. And then I think there's like 3 or 4 more deaf females, and then one or 2 deaf males this year. So there's more. So it's cool to see just kind of a little bit of a ripple effect happening, you know what I mean? And hopefully we'll keep going. But I haven't met all of them in person yet, but I will.
I'm looking for our text messages.
Okay.
No wonder I never return anyone's text messages. I can't even find yours, and I text you this morning. My phone is a mess. Why didn't you tell me yesterday when I was like, I text you, I said, how are we going to communicate?
Yeah. And
but you knew that we would just talk. And so ever since yesterday, right.
What did you think?
I don't know. I was freaking out.
Oh. It's okay. Most people do, which is why I always like, especially like new patients, like I go and I introduce myself and I'm like, hey, I'm KK. I'm actually deaf, but don't worry, because their eyes are like, whoop. And sometimes, only one person is like, ran, but I'm like, listen, it's fine. Just be normal, because they get a little bit intimidated, which is understandable because they just don't know. They don't know how it's going to work. And they're like, how are you doing this right now? Or they'll just talk like 2 miles an hour. And I'm like, listen, dude, we got like an hour. So you're going to have to speed that little butter up, and I'll keep up, and then I'll just tell you to stop if I don't know something. Okay.
I was looking forward to it because I thought it would be more awkward, and I enjoy awkward situations, but it's not, it's just wild.
I love awkward situations too. I'm always awkward. So it's kind of like, okay, well, that's fine,
It's
Anyway,
just
but yes.
like, I thought there would be so many pauses, and I thought we would be communicating so slow, and you'd be typing shit, and I'd be like having to read stuff to the audience. I was like, this morning, I was like, fuck, how is this going to work?
Oh gosh. No. No, it's very just be normal. You do you. I'll do me. I'll tell you how to communicate, and it's pretty fun, right?
Do a lot of your clients have a lot of questions for you? Like when people realize you're deaf, it's almost like it's not that we don't believe you. It's just,
How?
it's unfathomable to us what's going on. It's like kind of like a miracle to talk to you. It's kind of like
It is.
yeah, it's
And it gives me
unfathomable.
so many opportunities, like multiple times a day, whether they're asking me about these guys or whatever it is. So many opportunities to share my testimony with them. So I love it. And I love talking about my story and like the things that God has allowed me to accomplish. Like it fills my heart. And even just to work. So like all the patients, I love special needs. Okay. Like all of them, like just pouring confidence into them because they are so like unseen and just treated us so inferiorly. And so to be that voice to them and like my patients who have had strokes and like they're working through all of these things and just to show them like, hey, like God gave you this as a gift because he saw that you were strong enough to like carry it. But, you know, let's look at it like that. Like, don't let people treat you like that. And like all of your superpowers, like, yes, you might not be able to do it the way that the whole rest of the world does it, but you can still do it. It's just going to look different. And you can do 10 other things that they can't do. You know what I mean? And so to be able to pour just confidence into them and love on them has been like amazing. And they see it too, because they're like, wow, like, how did we end up here? You know what I mean? And so it's beautiful. I love those patients.
How do you know that did someone from the government actually reach out to you? Did you get like a letter or an email or a
No,
call?
I'm trying to think. I think it might have been like an email, but it was literally nothing that was like super official. I'll have to try to like find it. This was like a couple years ago. But yeah, it would be very specific, or maybe it was through my family because my whole family is cops besides me. I'm the canine because I have a good sense of smell. So maybe it was through them and they were like, hey, yeah, or I have other friends that are in the FBI too. So I can't remember if it was through that or if it's through like word of mouth that like, hey, we would literally be looking for this. You know what I mean? But I'll have to find. I have contacts. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't remember that.
It's a superpower. I mean, it's
yeah.
You have a whole level of perception and deciphering that no, I mean, I never met anyone like you who can decipher the world like you can, just through
thank you
movement of lips.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. You move
have
yours
you
good.
What? Oh, good. I'm trying.
you move yours, yeah, good.
Okay.
But yeah, I always comment on people's mouths. I have to be careful with that too, because like I've been like doctors, for example, or something. I'll just like a random person, you know, I'll be out on my clinicals and I'm like, oh my gosh, you have a great mouth, or like you have great lips, and they're like, who is this weirdo? And like, what did you just say? I'm like, but it's fine, you know. So I'm so good at being awkward. I'm so good at making things be like, you know what, I didn't mean it like that. But anyway, so I have to be careful.
Another. Do you ever feel like you give too much of your attention away? That you're so good at giving attention? Do you ever feel exhausted from the attention you shower on people?
Oh yeah. By like 7 p.m. at night, I'm like shut down. I don't even want to look at you or read your lips. Yes, the mental exhaustion is real. The mental and like brain exhaustion of like just keeping up in the world is on a whole nother level. And so like even my other deaf friends are like, I don't know how you do it because I could not function like that. And they don't. They just shut down. That's the alternative. So it's very isolating being deaf, okay? Because you can't, and to be honest with you, yeah, you don't know. Like you don't get to have interpreters with you all the time. And unless that you like, you know, work at a deaf school or something like that, then you can, but that is a luxury. But if I let this isolate me and did not go out and try to like communicate with everyone else, like I would not be a PT, I would not be the athlete that I am, and I would not be able to keep up in the world as well as I do if I didn't make myself go and just figure it out. You know what I mean? Like throw yourself to the lions and figure things out. And God has always provided. But yes, it is it's exhausting mentally And I for sure feel that honestly by like 4 p.m. every day, I'm ready to like shut down.
What is, are there any things that freak you out? Like if you have to fly somewhere and go to the airport, or
That's pretty savage.
or is it, that's a wild journey? Like the guy
It's wild.
at the guy at TSA is going to be like, hey, you're not listening to me right or something. And next thing you know, you're in secondary and the guy's putting a glove on. I mean, are there things that you're like, or if a cop pulls you over while you're driving, you're like, you have a card, you hand him, I'm deaf.
Well, I don't, but some people do. But I talk. So I mean, if they don't, like my friend, she uses Google Translate. But like if I'm not with her, I'm like, dude, just put that away. I can read their lips faster than Google Translate can pick up what they're saying. And then I just tell them, okay, tell me what you're saying. I read their lips, and then I tell them to pause their mouth, and then I'll turn and like sign it to her. And so that's how. Anyway, but
Pause your
flying
mouth.
TSA, I don't know what's going on around me. I just. Honestly, like tomorrow, like I'll just show up. I know to go through security. Watch. I always have to be 10 steps ahead. Okay. So like even like going through the lines, like I'm already like looking at everyone's faces to see like who's looking at me, who could be trying to like get my attention. And so you have to be just seeing like who's watching you and who is like possibly going to talk to you, like be ready to go, like try to be looking at their face before they say anything so that you can catch it. And then on the plane, I have no idea what's happening. I try to make friends with the person next to me in a very non-awkward way. Just be like, hey, let me know if like anything bad happens. If the announcer says anything. The flight attendants, I can tell them. Sometimes like if they're wearing a mask, I'm like, I don't bother telling them because they're not going to understand what they're saying to me. So I'm like, just forget it. We'll figure things out. But there are so many times that we've been just like sitting on the plane and I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. And then eventually we get up and then we sit back down and I'm like, I should probably figure out what's happening because it could be bad. But I assume that everything is fine if everyone else is just kind of like sitting peacefully. If everyone's like freaking out, then I'm like, okay, KK, figure out what's going on. And so that's how we do it. And traffic, I just look both directions.
Has a man ever picked up on thinking that you're hitting on him when you're not because of all the attention that you give them?
Well, there's been no man that's gotten that much attention yet, but you know, I have to be careful with that. If there was one, then yeah, but I don't see it getting like out of hand. I've never had to like. I mainly with them just had to communicate like, hey, I want to like be close. Like I could theoretically be like hugging someone all day long because it just provides like a real sense of like safety and all of that for me. And so we've had to communicate that. But as far as like attention goes, no.
Oh. Do you when you go to this event, will you be overwhelmed at this event with all of those people? A lot of adaptive athletes, when they go to the adaptive games, I get the impression that they feel like they're home. Like, hey, oh my God, this is like where we can just let the freak hang out. Like there's freedom here.
Right. I wouldn't say
or do you get social anxiety?
Oh, definitely not social anxiety, but I guess maybe it's circumstantial anxiety. No. So I am very used to not knowing what's going on around me. But this year, we will each have our own interpreters. And so Jamie, she's already claimed me. And so that would be beautiful because last year she was the only one. And like literally like the first event, she comes up to me and she's like, hey, all the other interpreters did not show up. What are we going to do? And I was like, listen, like I have been doing this my whole life. And so I know the other athletes need you more. So just go be with them. Don't stress about trying to tell me what's going on. But there were a lot of things like the judges didn't know that I was deaf. So I was like, help me do something. And then like, I didn't know I was supposed to be on the rower until like 10 seconds before because I didn't hear anything and they don't know like, you know, gosh, like she's deaf. So she doesn't know what the announcer is saying. She doesn't know any of these things. Right. So it was communication is hard. It's the hardest. It's the biggest burden always. Okay. So like, and that's the difference between like, I can keep up with like, you know, everybody, but like, I just need someone telling me like 3, 2, 1, go. I need more visual cues, like nothing verbal. Because I like, if I don't know what's going on around me, then I've already redlined before the workout has even started, because my heart rate is like through the roof, because I'm so stressed about trying to figure out like, okay, when are we going? And I mean, in CrossFit, you can't just watch the person next to you to figure out what you're supposed to be doing, you know? And so like interpreters make the burden of communication less, significantly less. It's always going to be there to some extent, but I am used to that level of like, it's always stressful. I'm literally in worlds where, you know, that this person doesn't even like move their mouth. So what are we going to do? Like figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm constantly just thrown into situations to figure things out last minute. So I wouldn't say that that stresses me out. It's just, but that is where all my energy for sure goes to like communication. Whereas a hearing athlete is a big difference of like, they could be more, I feel like, at peace and just, I don't even know what it's like to rely on your ears. So I don't know what they feel, but I know all of my energy, I'm constantly trying to figure out not just like what I'm doing as like the workout, but like, you know, making sure that I'm also on top of like, what's the interpreter saying? What is the judge saying to me while I'm doing the workout, and trying to think about my pacing and my breathing and like, you know, whatever I'm doing, all these other things too, you know, does that make sense?
Yeah. How do they tell you if you got a no rep? Do they touch you?
They could, depending on what we're doing, but usually they'll just do that.
So they could try to get in.
I have to, you know, watch,
Okay.
like, make sure that like my eyes are on them. And so this is just where the communication comes in of like, hey, I'll have Jamie, but like last year, for example, like the judge, like, but we've only had like sort of short time, but we're working. Last year was the first year they had deaf athletes. So there's been many improvements that we've talked through of like, okay, what can we do differently to change this, to help you guys just focus on the workout to perform the best that you can without trying to navigate communication. So like having the judge like in front of me, I need to make eye contact with them, and I want to make eye contact with them, honestly, every rep, to make sure that like what I'm doing is counting. You know what I mean? Like that's my worst fear, is going into something and just getting so many, you know, reps, but then I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then all of a sudden I'm stressed out, and then boom, my heart rate's to the roof and I'm redlined and we're just planes crashing.
Have you ever thought about having what it's going to be like to have kids?
Oh yeah, it'll be great. They're not going to have tantrums. Well, they can have tantrums, but it's not going to do anything to me because I'm deaf. So they're going to have to, you know, learn how to. They'll know sign. They'll know English. They'll talk. Obviously, they'll sign and talk. And then I would love to adopt and foster someday too, but I don't know. Whatever God gives me. And even as an aunt, like I'm always the one that like when the baby's crying, like, okay, your turn, because you know I'm deaf. I don't really care. I mean, I care, so I notice I don't care that they're crying. I'm just like, you know, I would literally just be sitting there doing school, like rocking the baby to sleep while I'm like on class, and you know they're screaming, but the video is muted, so they hear it. So,
your child will learn 2 languages at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That'll be remarkable brain development. Absolutely remarkable.
And captions, like if you put captions on for your kids at like a very early age, it helps with their reading. So there's a lot of research on that too, which is cool.
And their facial recognition skills will be through the roof. Their ability to read faces, like the stuff that they could learn from you, will be absolutely wild. They'll get your superpowers.
Yes, hopefully. I don't know about that.
You should
They'll
homeschool.
probably hearing. I don't know. Maybe
you should for sure homeschool your child.
Yes, and I was mostly. I think I forgot to say that I was mostly homeschooled, not because of my hearing, no, but because we could be involved in so many things at the same time and get done our school. Like we were like given responsibility at such a young age. It was beautiful. I would 100% do it with my kids, and it really did allow us to like progress faster. Like we were like ahead of like our peers of the same age, like not mentally, like smart wise, we were like ahead of them because we had like that freedom to like work at our pace and be involved in swimming and just so many sports and so many different things. And have the responsibility of like, okay, here's your schedule. This is what you're expected to get done. So when I got to like, I started college and high school, but when I got to those things, it was like, I already know how to like run my world. You know what I mean? Like we were independent, we were working. I loved it. I'm so grateful for the way that like my parents raised us, important to us, and like I would 100% do it for my kids too. I think it's really cool. And I've had some patients that are homeschooled. They're such good kids. Okay, sorry.
Yes. Do you have a diagnosis? Is there like
Deaf?
but not deaf, but like like is there for the, I don't know if this is the right word, but for how you're, I don't even know if this is a word, what I'm about to say to you, but the degeneration,
Degeneration?
Is that a word?
It is degeneration.
Oh.
Good job.
Okay, thank you. Is there a, do you have a cohort of people who are like you and they're like, yeah, this is because you have something different in your DNA, or is there some like science behind it that's like, yep, there's this
like genetic or something?
Yeah, like why did this happen to you? What happened to your
We don't know. We have no idea. It does not run in my family. My mom is like hard of hearing, but she has hearing aids and like fully functional. This means hard of hearing. This is an H, hard of hearing or deaf. Yeah. So, but that's not, she had ear infections, even as a swimmer and a lifeguard, like all the things. I never got one ear infection until I got hearing aids. I only got one ear infection and that was it. So like, it was nothing genetic. That's why we also had nothing to like pick up on, like, oh, this doesn't run in the family. None of that. So we don't know, but I know that Jesus knows, and I'm so glad that he gave it to me, and allowed everything to happen as it has, because it's been such a blessing just to walk through. I don't have a diagnosis.
No diagnosis. You were a deaf lifeguard?
Yeah, but don't freak out. No one died. No one died. Okay, no one died. Praise God. And
is that, can you do that? Could you still do that, or would they be like, no, fuck no, she can't do that?
Well, they better not tell me no. I wouldn't let them tell me no.
I mean, like, what if someone's like someone screams like they need your help?
There's that. That's why you have to watch. You have to be like, but my observation skills, I mean, dude, I had like the pool scanning thing down. I didn't miss anything. And the whistles, if it was like close to me, you can feel, okay, so, but the whistle was coming from me. So, but like the lightning monitor thing in Florida, we have those, and I don't know if that made a sound, but like all the other like alpha lifeguards, whatever you call them, I forget what they were called, but like the people ahead above me would come over. We had like our schedule of like when we were switching. And honestly, I think, well, we knew I couldn't, I don't know. We knew there were some things that I just couldn't hear, but they were always so good. Like my bosses were always so good about like coming over to tap me and like talk to my face. Oh, because I couldn't do the radios. So we knew something was wrong, but we didn't know what. But I couldn't, the radios. I couldn't understand what the radios were. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I felt so crushed, but they were like, not a problem. We did it though. We did it. I didn't let anyone die. And like I was one of their best lifeguards. All the water parks, like good water parks that I worked at. And that's a swimmer. All the swimmers were like lifeguards too. So we were just in the sun all day. But
Isn't that remarkable? You even as a lifeguard, you couldn't do the radio and no one was like, yo, Katie, you're deaf.
Right. And I don't know.
You lived in the weirdest.
But maybe they felt like it wasn't their place to be like, hey, something you should go get checked out. I don't know. I don't remember those details, but
can you think, what about when you took your driver's license test and the guy's in the car next to you and you're driving? You had to look at him and drive?
Yeah. I don't remember that either, but I know I got 1 point marked off because I had to do a 4-point turn.
How's your parallel parking?
That's the thing that I got marked off on.
Oh, okay.
I had to do like four turns or whatever, but that was the only thing. But I don't remember that being an issue back then. And then now that is a thing. You can also drive. Turns out it's not illegal, at least in some places, to drive with the light on. So you can drive with the light on so that you can see their lips. But even when I'm driving, like with my deaf friends, we try not to like sign because we're driving. Get it? So it's just kind of like, sure. If you have something to say, wait till you're at like a red light.
It's wild. There must be a lot of circumstances like the walkie-talkie one that happened in your life that
Yeah. Many, yes, so many stories. We could talk for days.
it's it's wild. It's how you navigated that world and how the people around you didn't know, like, doesn't make sense, but it makes me wonder how many other things are like that in life, things that are going on that people are just
Don't
completely
know. Yeah.
fucking oblivious to.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. So just love people. You never know what they're going through. You know what I mean?
Hey, you have a, tremendous, gift in your story and, anyone who knows you so lucky. Um,
Oh,
they really
thank
are.
you.
You're fascinating. Yeah, you are truly fascinating. I feel like, something crazy is gonna happen in your life, where I don't even feel like you're like a flower that hasn't been tapped yet, that hasn't fully opened, and some like there's yeah, it's
Bloomed.
crazy. There's yeah, your superpowers have not even begun to be tapped. It's crazy. I usually when people with disabilities talk about it being a superpower, I'm like, I just smile and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, fuck, and I'm like, God, I'm so glad I'm not in a wheelchair. But holy shit, your shit is why it's wild what you've cultivated, the skills you've cultivated due to your circumstances.
Yeah. I'm very blessed. I feel so blessed and so excited to like tell everybody, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
this weekend, like it's gonna be amazing to meet all these other athletes that have reached out to me that I haven't gotten to meet yet. And so yeah, and just celebrate like the resilience and just overcoming everything, like all the surgeries and just making comebacks so many times. You know what I mean? I'm like, what's next?
You're like that kid at school who has a pet monkey and no one and everyone's like, "Holy shit, that dude has a pet monkey." I mean, you have something truly like a very special skill that
Thank you.
that
Yes, I
that
love it.
everyone could have but they don't have.
Right, right. Yes, and now this is me. My job is going to be to show them this is what can happen. So, like, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Hey, could you send me a Vindicate says he wants to send you a some shirts, maybe a bunch of clothes.
Oh, sure. Get your
Could you text me
address.
your
Yes, I will
address?
text you.
And then are you staying in a hotel or an Airbnb?
Airbnb so that I can meal prep because I track all my food.
Okay. Could you send me the address to your Airbnb and maybe he can get you the
Yes, and
care
maybe they can
package
send it
there?
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, perfect timing. And then I got to get to the clinic, so this is perfect.
Okay.
But I'll
Hey,
text it to you.
you are always welcome on this show. If there's ever anything you want to share, you see Jesus on a tortilla or something, and you want to tell the world about it, I'm here for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Amazing. Thank you.
yeah,
This has been
yeah,
so fun.
yeah.
I mean, amazing. Good luck. Good luck. I love you. Yep.
Good luck. I love
Other
you.
way. Good
Oh
job.
yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
What's
because
this?
you're just, I mean, you
What's
can love
this mean?
yourself too, but if you're
Oh.
talking to somebody, it's this is like, I love you too, you know, but it's directional.
All
Okay.
right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye. How the fuck doesn't she have a boyfriend? The fuck's going on with this world? What's going on? I don't get it. I don't get it. Physical therapist, get loads of attention to give, beautiful, does CrossFit, superpower. It's like Wonder Woman doesn't have a boyfriend. The fuck is going on? I don't get it. It reminds me of myself. Sometimes I just think when I go out in the world, I'm just look at all the fucked up people. I'm like, how is it not just raining fucking vagina on me? I don't get it. How is it not just raining dudes on her? What a what a what a charismatic creature. Holy shit. I don't get it. Yeah, that woman is very special. Yes. That's like she's so verbal and articulate. I hope that was supposed to be funny. It's beyond articulate. Her communication skills are like level 10. Yeah, it's nuts. Wow, that might be one of the most interesting people I've ever met on planet Earth. That is, uh, that is crazy. Well, we know why it's not raining vaginas on you. Why? That doesn't even make any sense. I mean, look at my you don't look at me, look at my cohort. Look at the competition is just like there is no competition. I'm nice, I'm cool, I have endless energy. I'm not gross. I don't think I'm gross. Kim Possible level. Yeah. You remember Kim? Wow. What a superstar she is. Katie Burris. Should have asked her to pronounce her last name. I wonder if I'm saying it right. Not funny. It's a criticism on most non-deaf individuals. Oh yeah, yeah. Her ability to communicate is like it's supposed to be impaired, and it's not. It's almost like she shouldn't be in the adaptive games. She should be like in the superpower games. Like, hey, like, it's almost like she's on PEDs. I cut my pubic hairs in the kitchen with scissors. Not gross at all. Oh, I got a long drive this morning. I have long drives every Tuesday, Thursday morning. I kind of love them. Going out to I go to Monterey on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's South Monterey, California is south of me, 45-minute drive, 30 miles. No, listen, that store not the same scissors I cut food with. I don't ever cut food with scissors, and I that story, I kind of like the fact that it's been embellished, so I don't wanna walk it back at all, but listen, I'm not in the kitchen on a monthly, weekly, or even quarterly basis in the kitchen, cutting my pubes in the kitchen and sprinkling them around on the counters. It's not like that. Oh, thank you, Joseph, to cover the shipping for her shirt. Oh yeah, I got a reminder to send her address for her. Why couldn't I find her? Why couldn't I find her? Uh, I typed in deaf into my search. I wonder what I don't even have her in my. How do I not have her in my phone? What the fuck is going on? Oh, I didn't put her name in here. I am so lazy when it comes to putting people in my there's people I've had text conversations with for like 3 years and I still don't know their names. And they don't know that I don't know their names. Like if you text me and you're not in my life and you don't say this is so and so, I really don't know who you are. And people are so bad at that anyway. People will text me once and think like you know me. Um uh it's not like that. First of all, I have a horrible memory when it comes to people. Katie Burris, what should I put under the company name? Deaf games athlete? Um, tr tr Travis, I'm gonna start a thread, Katie. Um, Travis, you should send her some other clothes too. She has a crazy body. Uh, Katie, can you send your address? That's very nice of you, by the way, Vindicate. The boys were sending me a bunch of questions for Katie. I'm glad I didn't read them. None of them are appropriate. All right. I feel like I drank too much coffee this morning. I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. Anytime you see me put my hands up like this, I'm probably freaking out. Like I'm dumping. Whenever I do this, that means I'm dumping energy. For those of you who understand, there you go. Her IG handle. Her IG handle is the Deaf PT. You can also type in Katie Burus with a capital K, KATIEBURES. I know I should have put it up there for her. Sorry, Jenny, that was a fuck up. The Deaf PT, the DEAFPT _ all one word. Yeah, she's a beast. Her CrossFit's pretty badass too. Hey, what's up? Hello?
I'm gonna go with every other day ad reads real quick until we get to Wodapalooza.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. You're gonna do a commercial for Paper Street Coffee.
In theory, first one is for Matoothian. So
okay.
remember, if you guys
let me hear it. I'm gonna judge you. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just letting everyone know we have a bunch of Matoothian that we're going to sell at Wodapalooza next week. Some of it is already people are asking to hold it.
Can deaf people use Matoothian?
Not my product. I have no idea. I'm gonna assume yes, but I don't want to. I don't want me to use my word as gospel and then I get sued because a deaf person can't use Matoothian.
All right, fair enough.
Some people say that it could restore your hearing.
There you go.
Not me, but some people.
That's what I'm looking for.
Allegedly. If you are anywhere near Wodapalooza, SoCal, Biomax Clinic is less than 15 minutes away. It's 7 miles away. You just go. They have a bunch of cool things. I think you guys are gonna do some videos there.
Yes, if you're an athlete that needs to recover, make your appointment now. They got it all: red light therapy, saunas, ice baths, hand jobs.
Not just from me, maybe, I don't know. Not just athletes, but if you're just visiting Wodapalooza, SoCal, just remember you're 7 miles away, 15-minute drive, literally just the most beautiful drive down the beach to hit Biomax Clinic. And then obviously Paper Street Coffee is going to be there with some shirts and stuff like that we're selling. That's it. Reminding people.
Thank you. Paper Street Coffee will have a booth at Wodapalooza this year.
Every year until the rapture.
There are anecdotal studies that you will perform 5% better at the competition.
69%, but it is what it is.
Yeah, 6.9% better with shot from Paper Street Coffee.
Yeah, man. All right, that's it. Just wanted to let people know we got Matoothian, we got Biomax, and we got Paper Street. We're all going to be there, and Travis will be there too, selling some Paper Street Coffee shirts.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, I'll be wearing mine. I'll wear mine tomorrow. I got mine in the mail yesterday. All right.
Perfect. All right, I'll talk to you guys.
Okay, thanks, Gabe. Bye. Wow, it's going to be a party at Wodapalooza. Kill Taylor this week. I assume it's Saturday. Dude, Saturday's going to be fucking amazing. Excuse me. Saturday, UFC starts early. And then Canelo's fighting Bud Crawford. And it's on Netflix. And even if you're not into boxing, you should go over to Netflix and you should watch the Canelo Alvarez Bud Crawford documentary. The first 2 parts are out. And then also the UFC's doing a embedded with Canelo and Bud Crawford. But also the main event this week at the UFC, and it starts early. The main card starts at 3. But the main event is these 2 guys are fighting that are 2 of the craziest fighters in the UFC. It's a guy named Diego Lopez and Jean Silva. and these guys are maniacs. Both of them are just straight maniacs of the highest level. And you really that fight is going to be, if you're a fight fan, that fight is going to be completely off the hook. Cole Swenson, interview was incredible. Thank you, Katie and Sevon. You're welcome. Dude, Katie's a beast. That girl can talk. She's a beast. I was like freaking out this morning too, like in a good way. I was freaking out last night. I was like going through her Instagram, and basically I forgot to ask her this, but it looks like what she's doing is she's built in a practice on her Instagram where she's doing Bible verses and Bible talk using sign language. So the first like 20 minutes I'm scrolling through her Instagram, I'm like, man, this chick can't talk. Like she can't talk. And then I realized that, oh, it sounds like what she's doing is she's honing her sign languaging skills and reading the Bible at the same time. I kind of like it, killing two birds with one stone. I should have asked her if that's what she's doing. Because then as you get like deeper into Instagram, I realized she could talk. And I was like, wait, what is going on here? My maiden name is Crawford. No shit. I wonder if you're related to Bud Crawford. He's cool as shit, man. Bud's so cool. Bud Crawford is so cool. He seems like such a cool guy. He's the most confident human being also I've ever seen. He's like Tyson Bagent, Travis Bagent. His confidence is oozing. Yeah, these guys fighting this, and then Rob Font's fighting in the fight before that. He's a great fighter. Kelvin Gastelum's fighting on the card. Alex Hernandez, Diego Ferreira. Not super big names, but if you're a fight fan, you're a fight fan, you definitely know who these guys are. On the undercard, it looks like Tatiana Suarez is fighting Amanda Lemos. That should be good. And I don't normally say that about female fighters, but they're both great. And then I don't know what time the Canelo fight's on. I'm assuming it's in the evening, but it's going to be wild. Canelo Crawford card. I wonder who's fighting on the undercard. I don't even know if it comes, I was going to say free. Nothing's free. I don't know if it comes with the Netflix package. I don't know if like you have Netflix and you just get to see it, or if Netflix has a pay-per-view button also. This will be the biggest fight in many people's lifetimes. Like if you're 30 years old, probably it'll be the biggest, most viewed fight in the history of fighting in your lifetime. Oh, Fernando Vargas Jr. is fighting. That's the only name I recognize on there. How to watch the main card will stream live on Netflix September 13th. Like all Netflix live events, there's no extra fee. That's crazy. And the fight starts at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Which means that that fight won't start for till like 9. Probably 2 or 3 hours. 8 or 9. Hopefully it won't. Canelo's last fight was so boring. The guy didn't want to fight him. So the guy just ran from him the entire fight. So hopefully it's not like that. Stefan, you're not watching the Contender Series? No. Should I be watching that? I don't watch that. I was actually thinking, Adam, that I should probably watch that and start harvesting new fighters. You know what I mean? Getting fighters that are just coming up on the show. How do I watch that? What is that? Is it just one show or is it a series? I never liked I didn't like the UFC reality show because I didn't want to commit to like 13 episodes. I can't commit to shit like that. Is the Contender Series just one episode and it comes out once a week or once a month? Oh, that's where I started with Jack. Okay. Yeah, I used to watch some of that stuff and it was like exhausting. It was exhausting keeping up with it. Is it different than that show? Than the reality show? Oh, you know why I'm freaking out? I think I have to take a shit. I think I have a shit brewing. My wife always says that. You're not freaking out. You just have to take a shit. She always has to remind me. Why didn't someone in the chat remind me? Yeah, I think I just 10 episodes. It's on episode 4 of season tonight. Okay, maybe I'll go back and watch this year's. Yeah, something's going on. I'm all tingly all over. Like I have Roomy and Rumble on. Hands are freaking out. When I close my eyes, I get dizzy. Something's going on. I do poop. I took a huge deuce this morning. I poop a lot. Shit just goes right through me. Anything I drink, I pee out right away, and anything I eat, I pretty much poop right away. Heart attack. It's funny you say that, Alon. One time I was I'll tell you this story as I'm freaking out. One time I was driving to Dave's house. This is like 2 years ago, and I was halfway there, and the kids were in the car, and I was driving, and all of a sudden, like, I didn't even fucking it was like almost like I forgot where I was or who I was, and my whole fucking body was fucking going crazy. And especially my hands. My hands start freaking out. And I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I gotta go home. Like something's fucking wrong. Something is fucking wrong. And it was the most I'd ever freaked out. And I was like, I don't even fucking know what's going on. My brain's not operating right. I couldn't get out of my body. You know how some people say they're trapped in their head? Well, I couldn't get out of my body. I couldn't even drive because my awareness had gone completely inside. And I was just like doing full body scans, just like crazy. And my body was like, I felt like the Human Torch. Like I was just lighting up. I had like way too much fucking awareness in my body. It was like I could feel every hair follicle and like every bead of sweat coming out of every pore. I was like, holy fuck, what the fuck's going on? And all my intellectual capacities, all my intellectual capacities like were turned off. I couldn't access thought. It was so trippy. And I got to Dave and I took this shit and it was just like instantaneously it went away. I got out of my body. I was like, oh. And I spend so much of my life trying to get into my body. That's like pretty much like part of my whole like praying nonstop, like always praying. And I do that like inside my body. And it's just weird. I get overwhelmed. But then at that point on, I always knew, hey, it's because I just assume, here's what I picture. I picture that somewhere in my, does your poop travel in your colon? But I picture somewhere there's a deuce passing through and it's pushing up against something in my spine. I'm totally making this up. I have no fucking idea if it's true. And was it your period? Is that what it's like having your period? And so I just assume that it's like there's this one spot where something's fucked up in my body and there's like a tube of poop going by a nerve in my spine and it hits it and it just like fucking you know what I mean? I don't know. That's how I've justified it. So, I don't know. But I am a shitting machine. I learned in my early 20s. I'll never forget when and how I learned it, that you never have to. I brought my awareness down to my butthole and down to that whole region, and I learned how to like just poop on command. Like never push, just breathe and put your attention down there and activate that, and like a shit comes out. I don't know. It was crazy. I'll never forget it. I remember exactly the toilet I was sitting on, where I was at. Vagus nerve gets pressure released. Yeah, sure. The Las Vegas nerve. And like it's waning now. It's going away. So maybe the poop's moving closer to the butthole. I don't know. But it used to never happen. It never happened as a kid. But I always noticed I start squeezing my hands like this and I start pushing my arms out and I just feels like feels like I'm at a rave on drugs and energy's just pouring off of me into the heavens. Can't really explain it. When you prairie dog, you don't have to push. Yeah, exactly. But I definitely, the first time I thought, when I first used to get that tingling, of course I went straight to like, oh my God, I saw an episode on TV once and I'm having a heart attack. I remember thinking, shit, am I having a heart attack? I want to play this video that Caleb sent me. But he didn't send the link. He sent it as as a QuickTime file. It looks like Brad Asraf's has 2 deep dives scheduled. One with Chris Cooper and one with James Hobart. Those are going to be good. Football game was crazy last night. God, that was. Honestly, it was just a bunch. It was like I'm new to the game, but I'll tell you my expert opinion. That was just shitty football. That was just shitty football. There was some good defense, but that was just shitty football. And how about that kid on the Vikings? He's 22 years old. He's already got a chick pregnant, and he's playing in the NFL. Caleb Williams is inconsistent. I mean, I was joking with someone yesterday that like, hey, as long as he keeps it under 10 yards, he's good. It was a mess. What a mess that game was. What was that snap at the end? Was DJ Moore supposed to get that? What was that snap? What was going on there? Was he supposed to pass in front of the snapper and grab that? That was just pure retarded. Yeah, his receivers must be pissed. Yeah. I mean, they were dropping passes. There were so many drop passes, but there were so many bad throws. My goodness. How about the guy that got open in the end zone? I noticed right away when I was watching the game, it looked like he was freaking out whenever he passed the ball. Like he wouldn't pull back. He doesn't like, it's not like a beautiful, like he's patient and throws it. There was a lot of this fucking like, and freaking out throws. And then on top of that, the commentator said he was throwing too hard. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being hypercritical because I love Tyson. I was rooting for Caleb, though. I wanted him to do well. I want the Bears to win. It does no one any good. He doesn't do well. You're wrong. The Bears had a great first half, and the Vikings played great fourth quarter. I agree, but it was still shitty football. It was still shitty football. You can't have a great first half. I don't care how many. Like, here's the thing. It doesn't matter how many yards or how many completions. If you're not putting points on the board, it's shitty football. And it's just like interceptions. By the way, I'll get to interceptions in a second. It's just like interceptions. Doesn't matter how good you play if you can't protect the ball. You have to protect the ball and you have to be getting into the end zone. So if you're 10 for 10 like Caleb was, but your average pass is 2 yards, like no. No. It's not good. I disagree with you, Ken. And here's the thing, you fucking idiots. What have you done to football? What is this pick six thing? Shut the fuck up. Is that a synonym for interception or turnover? Why are you using dumb terms like pick six? What the fuck does that mean? Pick six. How about go fuck yourself? How about go pick your nose? Pick six can refer to pick six where a defensive player intercepts a pass and runs it for a touchdown. Yeah. We don't need that. We don't need dumb terms like that. New Jersey pick six yeah. So it's you make an interception and run for a no. He intercepted and ran it in for a touchdown. Yeah. Stupid. Anyone who uses that, it's like let's go when people yell let's go. Like, take both those phrases and shove them right up your ass. Well, it's been around forever, Sevi. Well, I've been around longer than forever. I hate that term in CrossFit too when people say someone sold out. Like that means they went as hard as they could. That's not what that means. That's not what that's ever meant. Sold out. It's the wheels came off the bus. Sold out. Sold out is a pejorative. Sold out. Pick six is annoying. Yeah, stupid. Also, a thruster is known as a front squat and push press from here on out. Well, no, thruster's a little different. I saw what you were trying to do there. Thruster's a little different. There's the thruster's fascinating because of the athleticism and timing required in it. It's actually a good thruster. A good whenever anyone's like, I played no sports, nothing, like nothing. I did nothing that required moving as a child, and the snatch and the clean and the push jerk so fucking easy. Like I don't understand why anyone thinks those are technical moves. I do them beautifully and perfectly, but the thruster's a fucking trip because the timing on the thruster. The descent is you know when you lower it and your wrists are coming back and then right before it hits your fucking collarbone and you're shoving it back in your throat, you start squatting and there's that timing. That one I have down, but that coming up part for me, holy fuck. The timing on that uh-oh. Did I just go off the air? I just got a notice from StreamYard saying something was wrong. Am I still on? No, everything's good? Okay. Well, aren't you an accomplished Frisbeetarian? Yeah, my yeah, but I didn't play Frisbee till I was in my 20s. Thruster is a what the fuck is going on with StreamYard? It's having a meltdown. Yeah, it kicked you off so you can go work on your thrusters though. Yeah, the thruster is I'd say the thruster is the most difficult. And the deadlift's kind of interesting too because of the sequencing. You know something I don't hear about, maybe I don't watch enough deadlift tutorials, but I think the most important part about a deadlift is the sequencing of what you're engaging. And it's almost like there's no consensus on it. Like, are you pushing off the ground? Are you pushing your knees back? Are you squatting first and then hammies? It's like someone really needs to break down the deadlift. I feel like after all these years, I still never do it the same twice. Sometimes I feel stronger when I'm cantilevered way over, shoulders way in front of the bar. It can't handle your ridiculous football takes. Listen, Mr. Godfather. By the way, that the American Godfather is Brian Friend, by the way. Hello, Mexican Godfather. It was shitty football, man. It was shitty football. It was shitty football. We've seen good football. It was shitty football. Here's the thing. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a couple leading questions. Why it's shitty football? Ready? Do you think Ben Johnson has any confidence in Caleb? Like that touchdown he threw at the end, I don't know who caught it. Was it Swift? But the guy ran into the end zone. He was all by himself, and he just did that short pass. It was like a half-yard pass into the end zone. You think Ben Johnson, like as a fan, you don't have any confidence he's going to make that? There's no confidence. There's no confidence anywhere that you have. The only player you have confidence in and the entire Chicago Bears team that was out on the field was that defensive player, Montez Sweat, Montel Williams, They fucking snapped the ball into the fucking running back. He wasn't even looking. You couldn't even tell that it was a botch play. I had to fucking text someone and be like, hey, was DJ Moore supposed to get that snap? Yeah, it was shitty football. It looked like two teams who hadn't who weren't like polished yet. Yeah, I like the Bears defense, except for that fourth quarter, looked absolutely amazing. I do think that. All right, that's it. I look forward to Sevon's quickly emerging NFL expertise. Oh, here's another thing I learned last night. I think when I used to watch football, if you caught the ball in the end zone, they placed it on the 20-yard line. And this year I saw it placed on the 30 and the 35. I think when I first noticed it, it was on the 35, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then I think I realized that they must place it on the 30 now, and there was a 5-yard penalty. What's going on with that? So if you catch the ball in the end zone, you get it on the 30 now? What's the deal with that? They changed that last year. Oh. Yeah, and I don't understand the kickoff. There's so much shit I don't understand. I didn't understand the kickoff, like the way all the guys are all lined up in one spot like that. Like someone's going to run past those guys. I wonder if they have more. I guess they know what they're doing. I guess they realize it's harder to run the ball back, but that shit doesn't look right. I like the guys. The highlight of the game is when the field goal guy came out and kicked a 59-yard field goal and set a record. That was good. The dudes being able to kick longer field goals. When I watch football, no one would have tried a 59-yard field goal ever. Who even knows what's going on with kickoffs? It's gone full retard. They're professionals. They know what to do. Right. Thank you. Yeah, the auto pen versus Epstein. The auto pen versus Epstein. Why do both sides have similar narrative? It's so funny. I was listening to CNN yesterday. I guess something got released yesterday. I need to catch up on it today, and I will. But I guess there was some book or something. Epstein's birthday sign-in book was released yesterday. And I put on CNN, and they're talking about Trump's entry into it. And then you turn on Fox, and they're talking about Bill Clinton's entry into it. It's so funny. You got to listen to both if you want to hear both sides. You got to. What record? Dude in preseason kicked a 70-yarder. No, but for that field goal kicker in particular, I forget his name. Little Pillsbury Doughboy. That was his record. He kicked a 59-yarder. Ken Walter, Sevy, in the 1970s, a one-armed half-foot Tom Dempsey set the record for 63 yards, and it held for decades. Yeah, I think I remember that. I mean, don't remember the game, but I think I remember hearing about that. Yeah, that was crazy back then, right? And then I remember if it was like 40 yards, it was like, holy shit. And now it's like every time I turn on the TV the last 2 years, some dude's kicking a 50-yarder. I did like it. I did like the video coverage was absolutely brilliant of both those field goals. There was one that barely made it inside, and there was another one that barely made it over the crossbar. I thought that footage was cool. I liked watching that. I think I heard that was the longest field goal at Soldier Field. Yeah, it's cool. My kids were really excited. I did not see one shot of Tyson Bagent. I thought that was completely lame. And not only did I think that was completely lame, I think that was done on purpose. I think they were like, hey, let's not give Tyson anymore. Like, he's had too much. Like, I don't know. Something, I'm going conspiracy on that. Did you guys ever see Tyson? Because normally last year they would show him on the sideline, right? And maybe it was because of the HBO Hard Knocks, they were including him more, but they'd show him on the sideline and he'd be holding an iPad or he'd have a headset on or some shit. And this game, I didn't see him once. Did you guys? It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. And I don't think that that's an accident. So there, take that. All right. Let me see if I have any ultra right wing clips for today. You guys see what's going on with Michael Jackson Grand Slam track event? Oh shit, I gotta go. All right. Let's finish with this. Gotta always have something MAGA to make the libtards happy. Okay, let's finish with this.
Somehow, whites were about to choke to death on their own homogeneity when people like yourself kindly arrived with diversity and saved us from ourselves. No, we built a wonderful country that your ancestors could not have been. That is why people like you come here. And the more you come in larger numbers, you will change the country my ancestors built into something else. And it is completely normal for me to wish to oppose them.
Mr. Taylor, I've taken enough of your time.
What you're saying is
Racist. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.